So, as we get started and begin, you can soften your eyes or close them if you feel confident doing so, comfortable. I don't have a microphone on yet. There's not really much noise. I did run into a leaf blower in my first one. It was lovely. Yet I'm here today with Brittany, and we're going to talk and tap into a little bit of alignment within her 45 to an hour-long session. We're going to begin with a bit of guided meditation with each other and visualization as we begin our time. And I hope you stick with us and follow along with the rest of this video. Now I'll talk to you throughout the majority of our time. If you'd like a little bit more quiet and stillness, you're more than welcome to just be in the moment. Yet I'll just articulate a little few things here and there as we go through our time, other than just guiding you in through a little bit more of this ease. So even here, just like a yoga class, we're going to begin with a bit of an observation of mind, body, and breath. Try not to critique or change anything right away. Just listening to what they're trying to say. And as well as being in the 1111 portal, just coming out of that, we're in Mercury retrograde. These kinds of sensations might feel a bit like lightning in the bottle in the body, not feeling so settled or grounded. So within this alignment, we'll add a bit of grounding within our time as well. Make sure that we feel secure, even if it does feel a bit exciting or anxious to get going. It's a lot easier for us to get a little bit more of this energy grounded over time as we start by the crown. So as you take the next few rounds of breath, a little bit longer with your inhales, slower with your exhales over time. Can you imagine that this next inhale that comes through guides a bit more height up into the crown of the head with a sensation? And your exhale softens around the top of the head. You take one more just like that, intending that reach into the top of the head, and exhale to soften it. And now it might feel a little funny, yet inhaling to the brain, that inner world of the mind. And exhale to soften in that space as well. Do one more there, inhaling into the brain. And exhale to soften crown, brain, over the eyes and cheeks. And then into the base of the head where it meets the neck. And then soften around the neck, shoulders, and throat with your exhales. One more right there again. As you soften, next inhale comes through the heart space, a little wider through the ribs. And exhale to soften over the shoulders, the arms, the heart space. One more, nice and wide through the heart and ribs. And soften. Next will be in your diaphragm, your solar plexus and lower ribs. A nice little wide stretch down and low. And exhale to soften. More, just like that. Next, I want you to invite the belly button to rise to the ceiling with your inhale, nice and wide. And then exhale to soften down through the hips and the seat as the belly button comes back towards the spine. One more, just like that. And soften into the bed, a touch more. As you inhale, belly rises, and you sip in a touch more through the ribs, high up into the heart space. And then exhale, chest, ribs, belly. I even like to think of my exhales, this energy trans out through the soles of the feet. So your inhale through the belly, wide through the ribs, high into the heart. And exhale, chest, ribs, belly, and softening through the toes, the knees, the thighs. And then taking a few long inhales, slow exhales, and noticing, again, observing the body, the mind, and the breath that you hold here. Now, even before we began our session, I did pick up on a big magenta aura around the mind's eye. So whether that is tapping into your intuition, feeling a bit more into this essence of trusting of self, not too overheady, overthinky, but just in this beautiful glow of what's next, was kind of coming through. So as you take on a little bit of this breath, can you imagine more of that magenta tone just flowing down over the body, away from the ears, down into the neck and shoulders, and all the way down the length of the body. As we get started, I'll do a little aura spray, a little smudge spray for us around the head and shoulders to clear our space a touch more. Taking a nice deep breath in and out. And as we continue our time together, I'll begin the Reiki portion of our space and time. So allowing yourself to stay nice and long with those inhales, slow with the exhales as I do so. Again, if anything else comes up within this time, you're more than welcome to articulate it. Now, it does feel like you have a bit of anxiety or worry that comes up, yet it doesn't feel like it's so far off in the distance that this echo is just maybe in your future kind of movements and shifts that you're talking about, this alignment that you're calling in. As you breathe into every inhale, do your best to soften over the front of the face, back of the head, a touch more. Allowing anything that might surface as a worry or as a thought that might creep up to float to the back of the head and just echo and release over time, not forcing or changing. And I like to sneak my hands underneath the energy a bit to give you a proverbial step back. See if there is some worries, some anxieties that do come up in the forefront of your mind. Know that in the next couple days, you might just have a little bit more of a grace space or compassion around them as you move through the rest of this week ahead. When it comes to distractions, it feels like if they are there, they're not very cumbersome or too heavy, whether it's family, friends, happenings in the world. They don't seem too close or attached at the moment to this current space and time, which is really lovely. Like you echoed before we started, even if it is family, relationships, friendships, connections, people, places, things, historically, even if it felt like it once had some levity or weight to it, it kind of lives in your space now with a bit more of a lightheartedness, a bit more of a, you're so funny, look at you acting like that, you silly past version of self, more so than keeping it a cumbersome or again a weighted expression within who you are and how you show up in the world now. Maybe you still hold a bit of connection to some of those things, which is nice. Yet one thing that is coming up is maybe having yourself a bit more in the present moment with your thoughts, not necessarily allowing for this past expression of self, even habits, grooves that you maybe once had strongly held on to, and allowing you to see yourself in truth in who you are right here today. I like to kind of joke, there were a bunch of floating heads with thoughts. We don't always float down into that knowing or that essence within the body. So as I'm honing in a little bit more of this upper chakra is to be a bit more aligned for you, a little more through center. You might notice some sensations that come forth in the next few days that you're just a bit more aware of, whether it's that ease in the body, how you feel after interactions with people, noting how you've changed, even in the smallest ways, and celebrating them if you can. Regardless of your shirt, I am picking up a bit more of a blue aura around the heart space. So knowing that as you lead in your passions, you lead in this heart-led way into your business, your self-expression, there is this knowing and wisdom behind it, yet don't be hesitant and shine that heart space forward in a beautiful green light. We will echo that a little bit later into our visualization. I'll place my hands on your shoulders and take a nice deep breath. And let it go. One more, just like that. And whether or not you're called to more spiritual-based things, know that this room definitely has and holds a lot of spiritual energetics. There's like a nice blue magenta ring around you with your body as I've been allowing you to relax a touch more. So even in your natural state, know that you know your body best. You know that those gut sensations, those pings, those intuitive kind of knowings, even having this Reiki session today coming about in your space a bit more prominently the past few days or weeks, is all divinely guided. really do hold space for people very well. In a really grounded, heart-led way. I also feel like more recently than that, you are a bit more confident in speaking peace, speaking your truth, with truth, of course. But right away, as I expressed how you show up in the world, my hand immediately came to your heart and throat and roots in your sacral chakra. Currently, I have my hand over your crown and near your heart space to allow for this knowing to land a bit more in through that heart-led expression. Not hesitating, not questioning it, just knowing that whatever that energy that holds for you in that way, through that space, is all uniquely yours. Just trust it to touch more. You can tell your lower chakras tend to be the most prominent, I think, because of doing the breath work and feeling grounded and having those practices already in place. Nothing feels too bright or too dim. Yet your solar plexus, your sacral, and that middle belly area is definitely more confident within its expression, especially because of those grounding practices or those techniques that you take through within your day, which is really lovely. Things I do tend to pick up on is the energy density within the legs. I like to think of it like the lotus in the mud kind of sensation. So even here and now, it feels like you probably have a bit more ease tapping into more of that inner world and expressing it more confidently in that knowing and trust in self as you move in through those spaces, taking on different modalities and such, that imposter syndrome, if you will. I'll place my hands on either side of your hips. I can even feel a bit more the shape of your energy. So at the moment, I'm pulling a bit more of this energy away from the center that angles out on the outside of your left foot, bringing it a bit more aligned with the knee and toe line. Throughout the time so far, even now, I'll be down by your feet, still giving a little bit of that levity, that lightness to the top body, the head, the shoulders, the neck. Especially in the way that you show up and shine, do not feel like there's any kind of pressure or a necessity of urgency to anything that you aren't already here and now. One of the things that really helps me in particular as a manifesting generator, someone who's very heady and thought forward, is transmuting this energy. So even in the next couple of days, you feel like you want to move the body, go to a yoga class, do breath work, writing and journaling any of this, or creating art, know that that is all a really lovely way, as I get goosebumps from shins down, to ground this energy and make it feel a little bit more solidified and not so up in the air with thought force. up can be a sticky wicket or feel a little bit precarious, to give yourself that vocal affirmation of you are loved, you are enough, you are whole, you are loved, just by being you. Maybe having more kinder self-talk towards self. Yet know that it's a practice, it's a muscle to build, more so than next day aha moments at times. Especially in a passionate sense, because your solar plexus is definitely grabbing my attention as well. And I'd say it's pocket plexus, very passionate, fiery, that beautiful, sultry and sensuality. So the more that you say, speak towards yourself, whether it's in the car, to the mirror, you write things down that are kind, or even allowing for those beautiful comments that you had mentioned earlier that come through, and let them sit in your body a little bit. Be like, yeah, that's me. I do hold space really well, and people love it. And the more I feel like you tap into that kind of energy, as within, so without, it feels as though from one side to the other, you have a bit more of a quieter sense of middle ground when it comes to the solar plexus, the sacral, not so much the root, because clearly you work on yourself in those grounding practices. You do things that make you feel heart-led. Like you said, you're going through transitions and finding a bit more alignment with self. And the more that you talk more kindly, more passionate, or you lean into these practices that make you feel that kind of spiciness bringing forth, who do you want to be in those kinds of spaces, the more that it will naturally balance its way through into the way that you express and hold space for others as well. Before, when I said there was a bit of a blue aura over the heart space, it almost feels like it's for the within. Not so much of the hesitancy of sharing and pouring your heart into others and spaces and projects, yet pouring your heart back into yourself a little bit. The things that you call forth in the world are definitely things that you could probably bring forth for yourself, those standards, wants, needs, values. And the more grounded and clear you are on like 3 of those things each, you can start offering that to yourself a touch more, and it just echoes and beams unintentionally. There's really no pressure around it. Leaving a little bit more space for the front body to take these big breaths, to lean into this space with a bit more ease, or just grace for self. Even though there always is work to find that alignment that's best for you. Remember, if it's 100%, 80%, 20% in certain areas, depending on the day. You know that the more that you lean into these kinds of spaces and ground it, the easier it'll become over time. It does still feel like your inner world is a bit easier to tap into than it is to trust that action, aligned action, going forward, embodying it a touch more in your outer world. I'm going to take a nice deep breath. Place my hands on your hips once again. Or 2 more, just like we did so, the more this blue energy has left the body a touch more. I'm anchoring really more in that green, that heart space, into the more grounded sense, which is really lovely. Just got goosebumps again down my legs. Maybe you take that imagery with you as you move throughout your days, your weeks ahead. Just allowing that grounded sensation out the legs. Even if it's just standing outside at your house with feet in the grass, even if it is a little chilly out. Maybe when you think of your alignment for the next few breaths, if there's anything that you're like, this does not serve me, this is keeping me from my fullest expression. My hands are down by the soles of your feet, so allow for anything and all things that don't serve you just to land in my hands. Transparently, as we've been working together, this almost feels like this knowing yet hesitancy around the body of energy has kind of faded away, and a really lovely white kind of aura has begun to shine around your right side body. So no matter what you feel like needs to come through within these next few days, do your best to feel aligned and balanced within this Mercury retrograde, yet you are guided and protected in all that comes through within your craft, how you show up in the world, even if it doesn't feel like it looks like that's the case in the moment. Take a nice deep breath in with my hands on your ankles. As I'm back up by the top of the head, noticing any energy shifts. When we first started, it was more or less that the thought process was still within your standards, grooves, those habits, or of course from like historical things. Yet I know that your worries and anxieties aren't stemming from them. It's more like the what ifs, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and all those kind of things in between of how it's all going to unfold. So I'm doing my best at the moment as you take the next few long, deep breaths to make them merge a little bit more through center line at the top crown of the head and up and away. Blending this knowing, a bit more with ease than worry. Snag your cheek. Let's place it in your left hand. Flipping over. As you hold on to that necklace and all its beautiful energy, cleansed, filled with lovely Reiki energy and so on, imagine how you would like to embody the essence of that stone in the way that you show up in the world. Bright, alive, magnetic. Anything else that comes to mind? As you take the next few rounds of breath, allow for yourself to imagine that you see this magenta, purple tone off in the distance, almost like a blue flame, if you will. As you visualize this light coming in, a touch closer with every inhale, maybe you imagine that it's over the heart center or a specific space in the body, letting it grow over time, each breath. As it gets closer, stronger, brighter. Allow for these exhales to let it ground and stay exactly where it is, in that beautiful bright light. As you feel it get to the outer edges of the body or its expression, the next exhale, allow for it to pour over the shoulders, the outer edges of the ribs, the belly, down through the hips, exploring every atom, molecule of the body. Allow for the next few breaths to call that forth a bit more strongly from head to toe. last little visualization, because you are in your own space, coming back into your space slowly, keeping your eyes closed just for now. Can you imagine that this grounded energy anchors a touch more into the bed and table that you work on? Every exhale, softening through the back body a touch more. Noticing the texture, the weight of the body against the table, the pillow. As every exhale comes along, can we imagine that this energy trails down the table's legs, into the floor beneath you, and every nook and cranny in your space, every candle, every chair, object, sconce, letting this beautiful, grounded, aligned energy melt into every little space you can remember. As you feel this energy coat every nook and cranny, maybe it travels out through the door, down the hall, the steps, into the building. Maybe even imagining the grounds it's built on itself. Allowing this grounded sense of self echo into Easton, Pennsylvania, our country, our world, our galaxy. And allowing for this ease to stay with you for a few more breaths, knowing that you've grounded and anchored a bit more of this energetic coating within your own space. It's uniquely yours. As you slowly wiggle the fingers and toes, know you can keep the eyes closed till the end. I'll move away from the head, so if you'd like to take a full body stretch, which is always super yummy, you're more than welcome to. Maybe it's just a brighter breath than before. And again, you're more than welcome to stay lying down, maybe roll on one side, or just stay in some soft and quiet breaths for the next few rounds. Yeah, how do you feel? Yeah, you melted. You melted. I love that.